So dropshipping is a business model that is so simple, yet it can unlock massive opportunities with nothing more than a laptop and an internet connection. And it's really an amazing time to do this, but the opportunity won't last forever. Now, you may have seen videos out there, people making massive promises to set up your stores and help you learn everything, only to find out they're selling an online course. Well, I'm not selling an online course. You can check the description of this video, and I promise I have absolutely nothing to sell you. So this is a complete guide, a free guide to show you how to set up a dropshipping store. This is something that a lot of people would charge a lot of money for, but we're gonna do it in 4 simple steps in this video. Like I said, complete free guide with no upsells or anything like that. So step 1 of our 4-step process is to set up a professional storefront, one that customers would assume was built by a team of web developers. But I'm gonna show you how to make it in just a couple minutes, even if you've never done anything with websites before. It's really quite easy to do. Step number 2 is going to be choosing a home run product, something that's easy to ship, has low returns, has good profit margins, and sells really fast. Step number 3 is going to be marketing the product with the latest, most modern methods. I'm not going to be using Facebook ads or any other outdated means. And then step number 4 is the one that I think most people really miss out on, that I really want to emphasize in this video. And that's going to be like, sure, you're going to make money, but then you really want to optimize and study and repeat the process, sort of with a scientific method of it. And that's really going to be the key to success. So like I said, it's really a simple business model, and you can do that from anywhere in the world, earning money literally while you sleep. But most people fail because they give up. So I want to be clear. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication. But if you put in the work and you invest yourself in this business, you can do this. And if you commit yourself, imagine where you'll be in 6 months or in a year. The key is to work smarter, not harder. So do this for yourself. For the next 30 minutes during this video, put your phone on Do Not Disturb mode, toss it on the other side of the room, and most importantly, take notes. Cool. So you ready to get started? Congratulations on taking the first step, and welcome to the wild life of making money on the internet. The first step here, like I said, is going to be making that professional storefront. And there are a lot of ways to do this, a lot of great tools out there, but the one that is really hands down the best choice for starting a dropshipping store is going to be Shopify. All right, so to get started, we have a link down in the top of the description. We worked with Shopify to get you guys an extended free trial. Just kind of helps you out to mitigate risk a little bit when you're getting started, save a little extra money for a little bit longer so you can start making sales and really make it a lot more worth your while. So starting off by going to santralmedia.com/getshopify or go through the link in the top of the description. Like I said, you can copy and paste it. Now this is an affiliate link, so at no extra cost to you, if you decide to use our link, it helps to support the channel and keep videos like this free, so we're able to share free information without making expensive courses. It'll take you to a page that looks something like this. Don't worry if it moves around or pictures change. Shopify likes to change up their landing page a lot, but somewhere on there you should see a little field that says enter your email address. So I'm going to do that right now, and that'll ask you a couple questions or a few questions about some of the basics. You could skip them on the bottom if you wanted to. I'm just going to say I'm just starting. We could say next. What do you want to sell? We're going to be selling, where would we like to sell? We're going to sell online store. We're going to maybe do social media as well. And you could check off any of this now. Honestly, it doesn't matter. This changes your dashboard a little bit. But like I said, you can put anything you want here right now, and we can change all of that later on in the video. So feel free to just skip it anyway. I'm going to be dropshipping, so I'll say that. We'll say next. We can choose our location in the United States. And now we can sign up with email, Apple, Facebook, Google, whatever. I'm going to sign up with email, then hit enter, and it's going to take a minute or two for Shopify to start building our store. Okay, so that'll bring you to this page right here. On the bottom right, we can select a plan, so that makes sure that you get your free trial, extends for $1 for the first month, and you're able to unlock all the features right away. Now, there are 3 different tiers here. You'll notice that they're all $1 right now, but don't be fooled by that. After 1 month, it's going to go up to either $29 for the basic plan, which is the one that I'm going to be using for this video, $79 for the Shopify plan, and then advanced $299. Don't be intimidated by that. You don't need that plan right now. Really, the biggest difference between all of these is going to be the credit card rate. So it is a little bit higher at first, but when you're selling lower volume, I think that's a really good trade-off. A slightly higher credit card rate and a substantially lower monthly rate. That's the one that most people, I think, should start off with. And then as you scale, I'll have a tool down linked in the description that I made that can kind of show you at what threshold, where you start selling certain volumes, is it worth it for you to upgrade to the next tier up, where that 0.2% might be equal to more than $50 per month. So it might be worth it for you to save more money by going with the more expensive plan. But for beginners, you're definitely not going to start off there. So I recommend starting off at the cheapest one right here, the basic plan. I'm going to select the basic plan, enter my credit card information. Now you'll notice on the top, you can save with yearly billing. So you save $10 per month, bringing it down to $29 per month if you do yearly. Honestly, when you're getting started off, sometimes I just go with monthly. It's a little bit less of a burden in the beginning. And then if you ever decide, you know what, you kind of want to do yearly, you can always upgrade to a yearly plan later. But in the beginning, having a lower commitment does help to kind of like, you still have a runway, but you're not blowing all your cash at once on a yearly Shopify plan. So it's $10 extra per month when you're just doing monthly, but that's the one I recommend doing anyway. So let's subscribe, save as business address. And that brings us to our Shopify dashboard. Now, don't be intimidated. There's a lot of stuff going on right here. They want you to get point of sale, like selling in person. None of that's relevant to us. What we want on the left side is if you go down to online store, we have several different sales channels. Online store is where we're going to be doing most of our selling here. We're going to click on online store. You can see themes is the first one it puts you into. And then if we scroll down, you can click on add theme. So if we click on add theme, click on visit theme store. And this is what I was saying. We can get an entirely pre-built store, a full website ready to go with basically no effort at all. And there are a lot of free ones. So I believe I'll put the numbers on screen right here. There's like 170, maybe 172 themes, something like that. And a bunch of them are free. There are also paid ones if you want a more premium looking theme. Honestly, the free ones, I think, do the job. Like, the look of your website is not the most important thing. Go with the free one. So if you go to view all themes, we can click on free on the left. There we go. There's the numbers right there. So it looks like it's about 180 total themes. Only 12 of them are free, unfortunately. But like I said, these are all pretty solid themes. I'm going to go with the refresh. I think that one looks really good. But again, choose anyone that fits your style. The rest of the video is going to be the same regardless. I'm going to show you all the same editing tools. But this just chooses what my starting point is going to be. So I'll click on that. You can kind of scroll around, see what it looks like. And we can also visit a demo store if you wanted to figure out, is this the right one for you, and kind of interact with the website. Also be sure to check out the mobile site. That's very important. This one, like I said, looks pretty good. So I'm going to click on back. I'm going to say try theme. So I'm going to say try theme. And it's going to be adding refresh to your online store themes. And then it brings us back to our Shopify dashboard right here. Within the little themes tab, you'll see we still have Dawn there. This is what most people really get mixed up. They think that they have the new theme and then they wonder why it's not there. It's going to be loading down here in your theme library, and you actually need to publish that in order for it to be your primary website theme. Now, you'll also see up here it says there's a password. You can remove the password. You can manage the password. I just remove it right away. I'm not worried about people going on our store because it's a new website. Like, it's not going to be, you're not going to be getting any traffic yet. So going down here, you'll see we have the two themes. I'm going to click on publish, and that will make that one, it'll make refresh, this new theme, our primary theme. I'm going to click on that. So then we can click on customize. Now I'm just clicking on customize to show you what we have so far. We need to get a product. We need to do all of that. And that's going to make it a lot easier to edit our website a little bit later. So for now, we're going to put this on hold, but I just wanted to show you guys, again, with almost no effort, just a couple clicks, we now have this full layout for a website pretty much ready to go. As soon as we have our product and our images in here, it's going to look really good. It's going to be ready to go with very, very little effort. So now let's click on exit on the top left. All right, so that's the end of step one. We're going to come back to this and really customize the website a lot more later on, but you're now ready to go and choose our home run product. Start doing research and figure out what the best product is to sell on this website. So congratulations, you actually made it further than probably 99% of people out there who don't even make it this far. Like, you now have a website. That's impressive, right? All right, so before we get into step number 2, I want to give you a high-level overview of what dropshipping is so that you can keep this in mind when you're deciding on what the best product actually is. So dropshipping, in essence, is like this. You have an online store. You have products on your online store. When somebody orders the product from your store, they pay for it. It all goes into your account, and then your account will either automatically, or you will do this yourself, will order the product from another supplier. That supplier handles all of the logistics then. They do all the packaging, they do all the shipping, they do all of that. So in essence, you are basically just a middleman, a retailer. In a way, you're even just a marketer. So your job is to find the products that will sell well, list them on your website, market them, get customers to buy them, and then everything else, the fulfillment, is taken care of by the other supplier. Of course, you need to choose a good supplier that has fast shipping and reliable quality products. And you also need to choose good products that have a lot of things that I'll talk about in just a second. So step number 2, like I said, is going to be finding your first product. There's a lot of ways you could do that. One of the easiest ways to kind of look at what's working, and when you're beginning, you probably don't have an intuition for what products are going to sell well. Honestly, you might, which would be very impressive, but a good way to kind of do some research is to go to TikTok ads search. Now, I'm going to make it easier because it's kind of like a really long domain or a long URL. So to do this, I'm going to open a new tab. We have a link in the description as well, or you could type in santrellmedia.com/TikTok. Again, this is kind of like a long URL, so it's easier just to go through this. Okay, limited time offer. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the video, but if we click on TikTok for Business on the top left, then click on Resources, then click on Creative Center, that'll open up this tab right here. See what I said? It was like ads.tiktok.com/ all this other stuff. It's easier if you just go through that link like I just showed you. That's honestly, I do that for myself whenever I go to this page. So if we go down here, we can actually do a lot of research. So you can explore the top ads. If you go right here, you can say explore top ads. We're going to say get started. So you can kind of browse through a lot of these. I'm going to log in or sign up right now. I'm going to sign up. We're going to sign up for TikTok. I'm just going to use my email address, and this is a TikTok business account. If you already have a TikTok account and you want to use your personal one, you can just sign in with TikTok. Works just as well. And then once you sign up, you have to go and sign in, do their little puzzle. All right, so now that we're signed in, we can really optimize this a lot more. So let's say we're looking at only English language, and let's say the objective, what people are trying to do here. And keep in mind, like I said before, some people might be trying to get you to download games or other apps. They might be looking for just general brand awareness. We really care about conversions or product sales. Those are probably, I would say, the two that I think matter the most. Now, as a side note, this is really cool. Look at this. So this product right here, if you've seen some of my other videos, my Shopify tutorial, several other e-commerce videos I've made in the past, I recommended this exact product. So it's so cool to see this product performing so well on TikTok ads. I hope whoever made this product or started selling this product, I hope they watched my video and maybe I inspired them to make that. But like that's so cool because I knew that product was going to be a hit. Like you could just tell. Look at that. It's something that anybody can buy. It's going to be really cool in your bedroom. I think it's like a speaker, it's a phone charger, it's a light, it's an alarm clock. It's kind of like who doesn't want that? It's like a really cool all-in-one nightstand kind of thing. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. That's just so exciting to see that because I knew that was going to be a good product. So anyway, we can then narrow down the industry. So let's say you already know what your niche is. Maybe you don't, but if you did, you could narrow it down right here. Maybe, for example, if you really wanted to do pets, you could have that. Maybe down here, like sports and outdoor could be a really good one. If you know that you want, let's say sports and equipment, maybe like golf would be a really good example of a good niche where you have a lot of disposable income, a very obsessive group of people. Like anyone who gets into golf, you look up one YouTube video and you're going to get a ton of golf videos nonstop on your feed because YouTube knows like it's a very kind of obsessive group. Like people really want to get better at golf. They play it every single week. And sure enough, going down here, look at that. We've got some golf things right there. We've got a lot of other ads in here as well. So some of these might not be relevant. That's a cool little golf one there. Some of them are going to be just like fitness equipment and stuff like that. So this is tool number 1 for finding a product. Now there are many other tools we'll talk about in just a second, but I also want to mention that a lot of people have access to this. A lot of people know about TikTok's Creative Center. And so if you're just going with like the very first one, like if you go to reach here and you just go with the absolute most reached product, like this, for example, then like a lot of people are already going to be doing that. It's going to be very competitive in that space, and you don't want to end up in a super competitive space. It's going to make it a lot trickier, and your ads are going to be more expensive. Now, if you want to find other products, I have a link in the description to a free PDF. Again, like not selling, there's no credit card, nothing like that. It's totally free. It's a 5-page, maybe probably longer than 5 pages. Right now it's 5 pages. We're still building it out, and it has different product ideas that we think have a lot of potential. In addition, we have some case studies on products that worked really well, and we have a lot of tips and tricks on how to find the right niche and what actually makes a home run product. So before you go and choose a product from this, like this is a great research tool, but go check that out. Like I said, a lot of cool product suggestions in there that can kind of at least help you start brainstorming what might be a good product for you, if not just copying a product from that list anyway. All right, so now if we go back to our store on Shopify, we can go down to Add Apps, click on Add Apps, and we're going to install ZenDrop. That's one of several different ways you can do dropshipping. It's the one that we think is very easy to do. We're going to click on Shopify App Store in case you don't see that. And now from here, you can always type in ZenDrop. ZenDrop, you'll see it pops up right there. ZenDrop, we're going to click on Install, and that's going to add it to our Shopify store in this new tab. There we go. So I'm going to click on Install. And now we can set up our account. So I'm going to make a password. We'll paste there. Do not click on this. And then we can click on sign up. So that'll bring you to Zendrop right here. Now this is connected to our store. Now from here, I want to go to find products. We're going to click on find products. And I'm pretty sure the one I want to sell is a golf product. I know that golf is a really good niche. There's a lot of disposable income there. And I think a golf mat, like I've seen these, I know they could do well. Let's just type in golf though. Let's just type in golf and see what products pop up from Zendrop. Now Zendrop can do a couple different things. For one, there are some things that are fulfilled by Zendrop that gives you faster shipping that'll get things to the customer sooner, or you can also import products from AliExpress. So if I go to a new tab and go to AliExpress.com, we have this is the traditional one. Most people who have done drop shipping for years have always used AliExpress. Zendrop kind of just makes it a little bit easier to use AliExpress now by automating a lot more and also having inventory stateside so that the shipping is a lot faster, because shipping from AliExpress sometimes could take 10 days or even longer. Nobody really wants to wait that long. But I just want to point out that if you ever wanted to find another product from AliExpress, so let's just say golf mat, if there was a golf mat on AliExpress that you really liked, maybe this one, for example, you could always import that to Zendrop and still manage everything through Zendrop very easily, and it would just import it from AliExpress. Now, that's not what I'm going to do, because the ones that are fulfilled by Zendrop are going to give you faster shipping. So this looks like a good golf mat here. This looks like a pretty decent one there as well. This one's a little more expensive, but let's check them out and see if this one is maybe higher quality. So let's click on that. And it looks pretty decent. Honestly, like I kind of like how it's white there. They've got some good pictures we can use. This is $6 and then another $6 to ship, giving you $12.68 total is our cost. I think we could probably sell this for like $29.95. If not, well, yeah, depending on the marketing, I think we could probably do about $29.95 on this one. But let's see what the other one is. So checking out this mat, this one looks a little bit cheaper. It looks a little bit thinner to me. So I feel like people might be a little more disappointed by this one. And the price is actually about the same. The shipping is so much more expensive. I'm going to go with this one right here. So I'm going to go with this product. I think this is a really good one. I'm going to add it to my products. So now that it is in my products, we can go on the left side and click on my products. So within my products, you can review and publish. Once you publish, this will be sent over to your Shopify store, and we'll have our first product on our store. So I'm just going to go with this one right now. We can change the product name, stuff like that. We can change all this later as well. So I'm just going to say publish to my store. I'm going to say confirm. It's going to say publishing, and you'll see this will turn green in just a second once it is published over to our store. And so going back to our store, so from our store, so there we go. Now it's green. It says linked. Now if we go back to our Shopify store, we're really starting to make a lot of progress here. So if we click on the products tab, we can then see golf training mat is now there. So now we have that. It says 50,000 in stock for one variant. Don't worry about that. That number might not be exactly right. Just it's a big number, which is good enough. So we're not worried about our inventory on this product. All right, so there we go. We have our product in our Shopify store now. So I'm going to go down to settings, and I want to start to kind of build out the rest of the store. Right now it is 8535E, whatever, Shopify.com. We don't want that. We want this to have a real professional domain so people can go to like golfmat.com or golfmat.io or whatever and end up on our store. We want it to sound professional. And of course, there's a lot of different schools of thought on how you can choose your domain. But if we click on domains right there, we can buy a new domain. You can also connect one if you get it through GoDaddy or Squarespace or something. I recommend buying through through Shopify. It's going to cost you maybe an extra $2 per year, but it saves you a massive headache of having to point your DNS over to this. It's so much easier just to buy directly through there. Again, like there's no reason for me to say that other than that's what I genuinely do. Like that's what I'm going to do right now as well. So I'm going to say maybe golf mat, see if what's available for golfmat.co. Maybe golfmat.co is available. There we go, $18 per year, and then $29 per year after that. It's a little more expensive than some other domains. I would like to see it around the $20 range, but you know what? I kind of like that. Golfmat.co, simple. It's exactly what we're selling. It's what we want. So I'm just going to go with golfmat.co on this one. Pretty short, pretty simple, and memorable. Again, $18 per year for the first year. I'm going to check out, buy the domain. And this also does include Whois privacy, which is nice because normally a lot of other services charge you more for that. So at least it kind of justifies the price a little bit more here. In essence, that doesn't just, it kind of hides your contact information. If somebody goes on the Whois database and looks up your domain, you don't want them finding out like what your home address and stuff like that is. Some people like to have privacy, and so having that built in, I think, is very useful. So there we go. Now SSL is pending. It should be set up on our store. That is going to be our domain, golfmad.co. That's awesome. And now while this is kind of doing whatever it's doing in the background, setting up SSL and stuff like that, I'm going to close out on the top right, and we can start really building out our store. So once again, you probably remember how to do this. We go down to online store on the left side under sales channels. You're going to see themes. We already have this theme, but now we can click on customize. And this time it's going to be for real because we actually have a product now. We've got a domain. We have a name for our store. We're ready to go. We can really start customizing this quite a bit more. So the way this works in the editor here on the right side, this entire block, as you can kind of tell, is the entire website. So it's interactive. You're able to navigate around as if you were a visitor on the website. On the left side, this is the layout of what our website is. So we've got our header and all of the header elements there. Then we have this little template right here, and then we have the footer as well. So template's going to be like the body of your website, and then the footer down here is this section right here. So that sounds really vague, but essentially if we wanted to add another section, this website's using what's called a section layout. So everything with this little picture in the background, that is one section, and the section has elements within the section. This right here is an entire section as well. Let's say we want to add a section below this one. We can click on add section within the template, which is within the body. And you can see we have a lot of different essentially styles we can add for that section. You can add a collage. You could add multiple columns. That would be maybe good for like testimonials and things like that. You can add a video. You can add a contact form. There's a lot of different things you can add in there. So let's just say I wanted to add a featured product. I'm going to click on featured product, and that will add that as an entire section. Now, I'm going to close this, kind of collapse it right there, and I'll collapse that one. So you can see we have 3 sections in the main body of the website. I want featured product to be at the top. We're only selling one product on this website, and I want that to be at the very top. So I'm going to hover over this until you see the little 6-dot array right there. It's pretty small, but I think you can see it. And then click and drag that to the top of this little template section. So now we have that on the very top of our website. If we click on this, it'll kind of bring you into this other little window here that'll show you a lot more editing tools for this specific section. The first thing we want to do is select a product. We have one product, so I'm going to click on Golf Training Detection Mat. I'm going to change the name of that in just a minute, but we are going to select that. So now by default, we've done basically nothing, and we have a shoppable product on our store. This is now ready for somebody to land on our store. They can go and say, buy it now. That'll bring them over to the cart. And it's really, like I said, really little effort that we did, and that's already ready to go. So let's continue editing the rest of our site. If we go down here, we can see browse our latest products. I don't really like that section, so kind of collapsing the first one. That is the slideshow section right here. I don't really need that. So I'm going to click on the delete button. I don't like that right there. And then featured products, since we only have one right now, it doesn't really make sense to add that. So I'm going to delete that one as well. Our website is super simple now, but I would like to add a little bit more here, a little bit more information about the product. So if we click add section, let's find one that adds a little more text. So rich text is good. Image with text is even better, so I'm going to add that. I would like to add an image right here, but I would like the image to be on the other side, kind of changing it up so you have image on the left and then image on the right. So in order to do that, we can click on image with text. We can choose image second. It'll put it over on the right side. Now, we really don't have good images just yet, so the ones that came with the product are going to be pretty decent. But let's go select image, and you can see there are a couple that were already imported. So let's say maybe down here we want to show this, like a little bit more about the product. We can say done. That's going to import that. So now we have an image on the right side there, but you'll see within this little section, we have, of course, image. Then we also have image with text. That's the header right here. And then we have pair, like right, that whole thing is right there. And we have a button as well. So starting off with the first one, if we click on that, we can edit that text. And let's just say this is going to be, we're just going to say a perfect swing. We'll call it that, just a nice little header that's kind of one line there. We'll go back and we can add some text down here. So we can add some text, so we can add a paragraph down here and then click back. And now we can customize our button as well. And this button is going to be order now. And this can go to a product. And the product is, of course, going to be the only product we have. And we can choose the button style if you wanted. The outline style, I think looks pretty good, but you know what, maybe that looks a little more clickable anyway. We can change the colors and everything in just a second, but we're kind of just building out the general format of this website right now. Now let's go back to featured product. One last thing I wanted to change. I don't really like the first image right there. So I think that one, sure, it's great, but I think we could do a little bit better than that. So if we click on this little icon on the right side of the product, that'll bring us to our product page on Shopify, and we can rearrange. First of all, we can change the name of the product, the paragraph under the product, and the order of the images. I want this one to be our main image. So I'm going to click and drag that one to the left. There we go. And then I think I want this one to be last because we're showing that a little bit later. I think that's probably a pretty good setup right there. Now we're going to rename this one. Now, I just went over to ChatGPT and I had it write up an entire product description right here. So I'm going to copy this over. So product description right there. And then now we can say, now come up with a product title. So we'll call this Precision Golf Swing Training Mat. That's going to be the title. Then down here, the rest of the product looks pretty good. We can choose the price. It says $39.82. I think that might be a little expensive. That's what it's suggesting. We can always check out what other people are charging. But I'm going to, again, change this image down here to that one. I want that to be the main product variant we have, the main image for that. And now we can say, actually, again, that seems like a little bit too expensive. I'm going to say $34.95, whatever. We'll say save, and hopefully that's the right price. Again, this is something you will kind of experiment with a little bit more and figure out what the best price is. So now we have the product kind of a little more optimized. Let's close out of this. Let's go back to our editor here. There we go. So precision golf swing training mat. We've got the price. We have the color. That I don't really want it to show color there. That doesn't make sense. We'll fix that in a second. Size, we don't need to show that either. And then when they scroll down, you can see a perfect swing. It tells you a little bit more about how it works. And we can add another thing below that just to add more information. Maybe we'll add some testimonials down here. So we'll add another section. And down here we could find, you can also search as well. So testimonial. See if we have one. Okay, none of them are called testimonial, but I know there's one that works well for testimonials. I think that, here we go, multi-column. That should work pretty well. We'll add multi-column, and here we're going to click on multi-column, which change this to testimonials. Testimonials. Oops, I added a column. I didn't want to do that. Let's click on the next one, and I'm just going to kind of make a bunch of these. Eventually, once you have real testimonials, you can add these in here as like real feedback, but for now, I'm just going to add just some kind of dummy ones just to show you guys how you'd go about building this. Of course, always click on save on the top as much as possible. All right, so now we have our testimonials, and then it looks like we have a button on the bottom. I don't think we really need the button down there. So that button we should get rid of. So multi-column, click on that. Button label. Yeah, if we just delete that, it'll go away. We don't need that on the bottom. Testimonials, so just really pretty simple. Now let's add one last thing on the very bottom here. I'm just gonna go down and add one last section, and this can just be image banner, and this can say, click on buttons, delete the second one. The first one is going to be order. We're going to say learn more, and it's going to link to product again. It'll link to that product. We'll go back. Of course, make sure you're finding one that you are allowed to use. Don't steal images. If you have an image, like if you go to a local golf course, that would probably be an even better way to do that. But just for demonstrative purposes, I'm going to use this one right now. So I'm going to select an image. I'm going to add an image. So we're uploading this one right now. Actually, I just downloaded. I'm going to click and drag it over. We're uploading that image right now, as you can see right there. And now I'm going to say done. All right, so that one's not too bad. That works. Now that's pretty good, but I think that this, I don't really like the color of that. Actually, the whole website looks like some pretty bad colors. So now I think it's time to start editing the design of our website, the color scheme, the text, the stuff like that. So this looks good so far as content goes on our website. But now in the left side, you'll see under sections all the way on the left side, a little gear icon, and that is going to be your theme settings. So we're going to click on theme settings. We'll start off with colors. Now the colors, we've got a bunch of different schemes, and so different parts of the website are going to use different color schemes, so you'll have to edit each one individually. But I'm gonna click on the first one, and I definitely want a lot more green. I want more, like, it's a golf theme, right? So we're gonna choose this one. I really want the text to be either super dark green or black. I think black's probably gonna work the best there. As far as the solid button color, let's go with a nice dark green, maybe like that green, maybe a little bit lighter than that. we'll go with that green right there. So the shadow, I don't think we really have any shadows on here, but let's complete everything anyway. Make it a very dark green there as well. So that's the first color scheme. Going to the second one, this one is going to be, I don't think we're really using this one a lot. So I really want to fix the header right there. So let's go to, I think it's scheme 3. The background is this. We're going to make that green or a darker green, kind of the same green we were using before. Solid button color, dark green, shadow, dark green as well. So that's looking a lot better. So far, we're getting some colors that really start to match a little bit more. On the very bottom, again, green there as well. It's not the best look yet, but we're making some progress here. Now you can customize all the other schemes as you use them. Since I'm not using the other ones, I don't really think I need to do that, but it's worth checking anyway. Like when you go to add to cart, for example, okay, it's good right there. If we go to checkout, we'll see that the colors all look pretty good here. That's just PayPal stuff. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. We don't really have to worry too much about the other color schemes. They're just not being used right now. So we can close that. Now, the next thing I want to do is go to typography. I think the font here looks pretty good to me, but if you wanted to change it, that's where you would do it. It would be right on the left side here. You could find any other font that looks good. So maybe I'll go with that font for now. I don't know, it's not the best font, but I'm going to select it. And now we can close the font. Otherwise, you can go through the rest of this stuff and it's going to be things like your drop downs and your badges and any button things if you want to change the thickness or the opacity of them. There's really a lot of stuff you can customize down here. Like if you didn't like this and you wanted that to be more transparent, you could customize pretty much all of that over on the left side here. So actually scheme 4 right there is being used on the little banner on the top. So we're going to click on that. I want this to be maybe a lighter green. Yeah, light green kind of works well there. And we can change the button color to a light green, shadow to a dark green or black. We're not using it, but there we go. So now that is up on the top. Now, speaking of that banner though, if we go back from colors, we can click on sections on the top left. That's called the announcement bar. And if we click on that, that's a really powerful tool. You can add a lot of sales or free shipping or any type of call to action to that. So I'm going to do just that right now. So if we click on announcement bar, or if we hover over announcement bar, you'll see this will come up. Welcome to our store. I'm going to click on that. And we're going to say this is going to be free, or we'll just say 10%. Let's choose a discount here. I don't want to just make a random percentage. We want this to be maybe March or spring discount, 10%. Use code spring10. And we can have a link there. This link goes to products again. We want as many things linking over to the product as possible. We'll say Precision Golf. That's the product right there. Now we can go back. You can also have other announcements that it cycles through. So if we add another one, maybe this could be free shipping when you buy 2. And this again could link over to the product. It could go here. And so if somebody buys 2 of them, maybe they'll get free shipping. So now let's go back, click on announcement bar, and we can choose how fast they're going to rotate. Maybe every 6 seconds, you'll see the next one show up, kind of just cycling through those on the website. All right, so this website I think is actually really coming together pretty well. It's looking pretty solid. Not a whole lot here, but it's definitely like that's a simple enough website and it looks pretty good. But there are a couple big glaring problems. One, we've got this navigation that doesn't really make sense. We don't need people to contact us. We don't really need a catalog here. Home looks good. And also it's not called My Store. Right now, we need to change the name of it from My Store to a more proper name for our website. But before we do that, one last thing I want to show you on this editor is super important. Probably the most important thing you can do right now is click on this little button right here that says mobile. You want to check out your mobile site. Make sure it looks good here as well, because honestly, if you're advertising on TikTok or any social media platform out there, almost all of your traffic is coming from mobile, and people are going to be seeing your website from a phone, and it's going to look like this. So this, again, looks great. I really want to get rid of those two. I'm going to get rid of that in a minute. But going down to product features, a little paragraph there, testimonials, a little image down here, improve your game, subscribe to our emails. That looks perfect. That's exactly what I want this to look like. I think the website looks great right now. And we're ready to go back and start changing the navigation and the name of our store, like I just said. So to customize that little menu right there, we can click on header. Let's click on header. And down here, you'll see menu. Where was menu? Menu right there, main menu. We can click on change. We can change the menu, and let's create a new menu. That'll bring us back to our Shopify settings. And from here, this is called navigation. We can call this header menu 1, and we can choose the items that we want. So let's add a menu item. The first one's going to be, this could be home, and this could just be our home page. We'll add that. We can add another one, and this is going to be the golf swing mat. This can go to a product, and we can link over to our product there. We'll add that. And then maybe we want to add another thing about Instagram. And from here, we can paste a link. And I recommend making like an Instagram for this, an Instagram business for your product. I have a full tutorial on how to do that, how to make an Instagram business page. So I'll link that video down below. After this, definitely make sure your Instagram business page is created. So I'm going to add that, just a little link there, so people can kind of go and see some more images, or maybe you can repost and kind of make it a little more popular for your product to be shared on social media. So I'm going to save this. Now we can go back, and we want to go in this other tab here. We're going to choose, so let's refresh this. We should have a new menu there. New menu option, that is. So we'll change menu, and we can choose header menu 1. So let's save that. If we refresh it, you'll see that that should be showing up on the top. It should say home, golf swing mat, and then follow us on Instagram. We've got all three. We can test the links. So golf swing mat brings us over to the product page. Let's go back. Let's click on, so make sure we're saved. Let's click on exit. And now what I want to do is rename the store. If we go down to settings, there are some really important settings we have to set up now. One is going to be the store name, of course. We'll click on the pencil icon. We're going to rename this to, we're going to call this Perfect Golf Swing Mat. We can save. And that'll actually be showing up on the top now. So, and now that we changed that, if we go to a new tab and go to golfmat.co, it should say, there we go, Perfect Golf Swing Mat is the name of the website. And we can see the website looks pretty solid. Okay, good start. But now we have some other things we need to optimize on here. So if we go back to settings, so the next setting we need to worry about is actually down here. You'll see, where is it? Checkout, payments. There we go. Payments is what we want. So right now, nothing's set up, so nobody can actually make a purchase. We want to set up Shopify payments. I recommend also setting up PayPal. The idea here is just to make it as easy as possible for somebody to purchase. If somebody is willing to be a customer, they don't have their credit card with them maybe, and they have PayPal, you want to enable them to check out. You don't want to have any roadblocks that are unnecessary. So we can set this up. I'm going to set this up right now. Starting off with PayPal right here, we can complete setup, and all we have to do is connect a PayPal account to start accepting payments. So I'm going to do that. Then we can agree and connect, and that will bring us back to Shopify. Let's go back to Shopify. And now, just like that, PayPal is set up with our Shopify store. Super easy to accept payments that way. But I think a lot of people won't be using PayPal necessarily. Many people are just going to have their credit card with them, or Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Who knows, maybe even MetaPay. I'm going to complete the account setup with Shopify payments. That's really going to be the main way you'll accept payments. Of course, there are other ways. If you have a third party that you want to integrate, you can set that up as well. We're going to just do Shopify payments for this video though. So I'm going to submit the details about my business. And then at the very bottom right here, I'm going to blur out my personal details, but you'll see the statement descriptor. This is probably the most important thing you can customize here. If somebody sees that on their credit card statement, they're not going to remember what they purchased, and they are going to dispute it, or at least many people are going to dispute it. You don't want to have to deal with that. Make this as clear as possible. So we're going to call this golf mat. We're just going to call it golf mat store. I'm just going to call this golf mat. That way, anyone who makes the purchase, they'll see golf mat on there. They'll remember what they bought. They're not going to dispute it. And now we can turn on two-step authentication. You really should have this anyway, so I recommend setting this up. You can set up first of all, let's sign into our Shopify account. It wants us to re-sign in here for this, for the security details, of course. And then you can get an authenticator app. There are a lot of different ones out there. You could also use our security key. You could use SMS if you wanted to do texting. Authenticator apps are super easy. Like Microsoft has a pretty good one. Google has one. There's a lot of them out there. So just download an authenticator app, scan that QR code, and then type in the 6-digit code in the bottom, and that'll enable it. I'm going to turn it on, download the recovery codes. Say continue. So then that'll bring us back to the payments tab where we were. You'll see Shopify payments. They can now pay with that. It'll tell us when the balance is ready to be used. It looks like we were approved, so we should be good to go. And now we can actually run a test order. So I highly recommend doing this. If we go into a new tab, you can hit Control-Shift-N or Command-Shift-N. That'll bring you to an incognito tab. And then you can go to golfmat.co. That's our website. The website looks pretty good. We can go down here and either buy it with Shop Pay or just add it to the cart. Let's add to the cart and see that entire checkout process. So I'm going to say checkout. I'm going to enter my information. Then we can enter our credit card information right here. We can also do Shop Pay, or we could pay in installments. We could also use PayPal. So many different ways to actually make this payment. So I'm going to enter my credit card information and I'm going to pay now. So now our order is being processed. It says thank you. It's going to be shipping. It shows a nice little checkout or a nice little confirmation page here. So it shows a map there. You can download Shop to track your package. Like, I just think this is a really nice, clean way to have a product ordered. And now if we go back, this kind of leads me into the customer management, the other side of it. So we have our store built and mostly ready to go there. But if we close out of that and we go back to our apps, so click on apps, you'll see Zendrop right there. We can open up Zendrop in a new tab, and here you'll see orders. So on the left side, we now have one order. Now the order is not fulfilled yet. It's received, but nothing actually happens until we actually go and fulfill that order. So there's some really cool things we can do with Zendrop on the top here. So one is auto fulfillment and two is branding. They're both really cool. Auto fulfillment is going to save you a lot of time, kind of does as you would expect. It automatically fulfills these orders, but if you don't want to do that, whether it is for like a credit card limit reasons or whatever, you can come in and manually fulfill orders one at a time. And so in the beginning, maybe that's the best way to do it, but definitely make sure you're not forgetting or else you'll run into some problems. So check this at least once or twice a day to make sure you fulfill all of your orders, unless you want to turn on auto fulfillment. So for this one, I'm going to click on fulfill order. We can fulfill order, just click on fulfill order. And it says there's no credit card attached. So that leads us into the next step. We have to add our credit card here. I'm gonna add my payment information for the back end, because ultimately, like I said, the way this works with dropshipping is somebody places the order on your website. That money goes to you, and then you place an order with Zendrop, and then they'll ship it to the customer. You can kind of automate it and have things run a little more streamlined, so it's not like a manual order every time, but generally that is what the process looks like. So I'm gonna enter my credit card information right now. There we go. So the credit card was added. We fulfilled the order. We can say, okay, it is now processing. And now it says very important information about your first order. First of all, processing times do vary. They try to keep it as slow as possible, but it's good to have that disclaimer. Secondly, they can order safety stock. So as you start to sell more products, they'll kind of build up what the buffer is. In the beginning, there might not be a lot of inventory depending on if anyone else is selling it, but eventually, once you start to sell a lot, you'll definitely get some more built up. And dropshipping suppliers are not logistics companies. The other thing, they're kind of just giving you some little disclaimers down there. I'm going to say accept, and now we're ready to go. So that order is now processing, which means it's going to be shipped out to the customer, which was me in this situation, and that's set up. Now, like I said, auto fulfillment could be really cool. We do daily or auto fulfillment. I'm just going to turn on auto fulfillment. In order to do that, they want you to upgrade to Zendrop Plus. You could do that, especially once you start making orders. I recommend eventually doing that, but when you're getting started off, it's probably not worth doing that. It's worth it to go in once a day and fulfill your orders, but I just wanted to show you Zendrop Plus gives you some really cool things, $100 in order credits. Again, this is not affiliate, so there's no benefit for me to get you to do this. In fact, I would recommend not doing it in the beginning, but it's worth eventually upgrading to get that auto fulfillment and save yourself some time. In addition, branding is another thing you get with that. So you can have branding on your packaging. So when somebody receives it, just like a nice little card in there that says like, hey, thank you for ordering. Here's a discount code. If you want to order another thing, you get 20% off. And that could be a really great way to reduce your marketing budget and increase repeat purchases with the physical card that somebody gets. Now, while we're here on Zendrop, I'll show you a couple other things on the left side. We can go to dashboard. That'll kind of show some analytics about sales and costs. So you can see so far today, we made $22.27 of profit because there was one order, and that's what the cost was. You can see down below. The shipping was paid by the end user, by the customer, which is something you can do. You can set up free shipping if you wanted to. Of course, it depends on how you plan to run your business. We can also go down to My Products and manage what our products actually are. We have all of our products. They should already be over there. So store and listing and sourcing. There we go. There's our product. If you ever want to change anything, you can add a new product. You can pause this product. You can unlink it, stuff like that. And then down here, you'll see there are some other cool things. If you want to look up other trendy products, more product research can be done within Zendrop here. So that's Zendrop. That's our store, but we're not done yet. Now, sure, we have a store, but there's a couple key things we want to change on the store, and then we are ready to set up our marketing. So in order to do this, I want to close out of settings within a Shopify dashboard. And first of all, tying up one little loose end here. Remember how we had a discount in the top on that little banner on the top, the announcement banner? We actually have to set that up. In order to set that up, so on the left side, if we go down to discounts, we can create a discount, and there are many ways you can set up discounts. First of all, you can do amount off products, a product discount. That is what I'm going to do right now. The discount code, I think I said was Spring 10 is the discount code. It's going to give them a 10% discount on specific products. The specific product right now is going to be that. We can add that, they'll get 10% off. Now, you don't always want to add a discount there. For now, I'm just going to show you guys how to do that because I did add that to the top, maybe to encourage some more sales. And so I'm going to say no minimum. We can do all of that. No limit. If you wanted to limit to like one per customer, or how many times this can be used in total, like if it's $1 discount, you could say, hey, maybe this is only allowed to be used like 20 or 200 times, whatever. First 200 orders get that discount. And then we can add a start and an end date as well. If you wanted to set an end date, I'm just going to start it and leave it running for now. So I'm going to save that discount. Additionally, if we go back, the other one I think we said we were going to add was free shipping. So if we buy 2, you can get free shipping. So again, you can kind of have right here. So free shipping, you could have automatic discount, and this could be free shipping when you buy 2. And so you could have free shipping with an MOQ or a minimum purchase amount or minimum quantity. So I'm going to say minimum quantity of 2. So when they order 2, they get free shipping here. And that is going to be valid for all products. So I'm going to say save. And now we have that discount available as well. All right, so now we're ready to get into the marketing aspect of this dropshipping store. There's really 2 main tools I want to use. One of them is going to be organic, and the second one is going to be paid. Now, the paid one is really what you'll probably use most of the time in the beginning, but you definitely want to set up the organic marketing method so that as you start to scale your store, you can retarget traffic, you can get more sales that cost less money, which obviously increases your profit margins. So the first thing we want to do is go down to apps, and there's 2 things we want to install. The first one, I'm going to type in TikTok, and this is incredibly powerful because it does 2 things. This allows you to run TikTok ads and integrate deeply with your Shopify store. And the second thing you could do is set up TikTok Shop. Now, look into TikTok's rules wherever you are to see if you are allowed to do any drop shipping. Sometimes in some regions there are restrictions on that. But like I said, in this video, we're really focusing on the ad aspect of this. I'm going to click on install. We're going to be installing that to our Shopify store. So we're going to click on install down on the bottom right there. And that's going to be the first of 2 apps we want to install. I'm going to install them both right now just to kind of get it done with. But here you can see, let's click on this little pin so we don't have to look for that again. It's going to save us a lot of effort in the future. Now, in a new tab, I'm going to type in santrellmedia.com/TikTok. Now, remember before we went to this same page, but last time we navigated to the product or the creative center to learn more about products. This time, you're actually going to be getting a lot of free ads out of this. So it matches dollar for dollar up to $1,500, at which case you also get onboarding support as well. So you're matching, like you're getting free money by going through this link, which is in the description below. Or like I said, type in santrellmedia.com/TikTok. Obviously costs you nothing. It is an affiliate link, so it helps us, but honestly, it helps you as well. Like you're getting free money out of this. So it really kind of is a win-win for everybody. So if you go through this link, we can click on Get Started. We're going to select our industry. And so I am selling like a little golf mat. So I'm going to say online. I'm going to say retail. So I'm going to say sporting goods, sporting equipment. Looks like that. The business name that we have right now, I'm going to call this one. So we're going to call this Perfect Golf Swing Mat. And then click here and click on Get Started. Now we are creating an advertising account right now to run ads on TikTok for this product, and it's probably the best way to run ads. I would argue and say it is the best way to run ads right now for selling anything that is being dropshipped. Because if you make a good ad, which most people struggle with, and I'll tell you how to make a good ad, it's really not as difficult as you think. It's quite easy actually. And if you make a good ad, it's very easy for TikTok to find the right audience that is very interested, like golf, for example. There's so much golf content and so many people watching that golf content that this will be very easy to find the right audience. Then the challenge is really just for us to make a high quality ad, which like I said, I'll show you how to do in just a minute. So let's read through the policies. Let's accept all of these, select where we live. We can choose automatic payment method, go to ads manager, And because we already made an account earlier in the video, we don't have to do any signing in. So that's why I did that earlier, kind of just save some effort right now. And now we can choose if we want to do an advanced or a basic ad that we're trying to create. I'm going to go to advanced, kind of allows us to do a little bit more. Basic makes it a little more streamlined when you're starting off, but I want to show you guys advanced so you know all the tools that are available. So we're going to say, got it. So you'll see on the left side, we have 3 different tiers here. The first one is your campaign. This is going to be the highest level. Everything is underneath the campaign. The campaign here, we are going to say we're optimizing for conversions. That's really the campaign we're doing. And because we only have one product, this campaign is going to be optimizing conversions, getting people to purchase that product. Then below that, we have ad groups. Now, ad groups could be, there's a lot of different variables here. Really, the most common one would be targeting different audiences. You could do different scheduling, different things like that. And then below that, you have the ad, the actual media that is being shown to the end user who's hopefully turning into a customer. The ad might have different actors or actresses. It might have maybe captions on or captions off. It might be a slightly different video style. It could be AI. It could be a human voice. Different versions of that we'll talk about in just a minute. But the advertising objective, the first thing that we're actually going to do, we want to do website conversions. So we're going to click on website conversions. I'm going to leave Smart Performance Campaign off right now. You could turn it on and it does a lot of stuff on the back end. Then the campaign name, I'm going to call this conversions. I'm going to call conversions-golf mat because that's what we're trying to do. Golf mat conversions is what we're trying to optimize. Anyone who actually goes and makes a purchase. We can choose if we have ad categories. No, we can create split test. CBO is going to be optimizing your budget at the highest level. I'm not going to do that right now. And we could set a campaign budget as well and just say for this whole campaign, don't spend more than, let's say, like $150. I'm just going to go with that for now. So we'll say continue. Now we have our ad groups. I'm going to say got it. The ad group, I'm just going to call ad group 1 just for now. We can call it really whatever we want. But you'll see the website right here is not actually linked at the moment. So remember, that's why I kept this tab open. We'll go back over here and you'll see this right here. If you don't see it, let's go back to the other tab. I'll show you how to get there just in case you closed it by accident. So remember I said we're going to pin TikTok down here. If you click on TikTok, that'll bring you to the same page. You'll see this page, once it loads, should look the same as this page right here. Sure enough, there it is. That's what we wanted. So first thing we're going to do right here is set up TikTok right here, TikTok marketing. Selling on TikTok, we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to set up now on the top though. We're going to click on connect, and that way it links up everything. So whenever somebody goes from an ad on TikTok, goes through our store and they make a purchase, that's all going to be recorded using what is called a pixel. It tracks what people end up doing on your store and allows you to decide, all right, this ad worked well because people added to the cart and they made a purchase. This ad did not work well because they went to the website, they added to the cart, but then they didn't purchase. Things like that. You can kind of track what works best. You get a lot of insights and analytics with that. So I'm going to click on connect. Then we can say create. Then down here, we can say connect for the ads manager. And then below that, we should say maximum. There should be 3 options that show up. There we go. So I'll leave it on maximum right now. So maximum, I'm going to say confirm. And then lastly, we'll just confirm some company information on the bottom. It looks like it already was done. And we'll say finish setup. So there we go. Just like that, we are now connected. It says pending account review. That shouldn't take long. But if we go back over to TikTok, we should be able to refresh this. And we should be able to find our ad group now. So our TikTok pixel within the ad group. If we click on the drop down, there we go. TikTok pixel for Shopify. We're going to select that one. So now we're good. Now we're continuing on with this ad group. It's tracking on our Shopify store with the right product. That's what we wanted. And we can choose our placements. Let's go to select placement instead of automatic. I don't want it on the global app bundle. I don't want it on Pangle. I just want it on TikTok. And I definitely do want to include it in search results. I think that's a really powerful tool that could often be overlooked. Then down here, we have the target audience. We don't have a saved audience yet, but we can choose, all right, who are we actually advertising to? You could narrow it down by male or female, and you'll see on the top the number of people that you have access to. So you can see substantially lower compared to all. Ideally, I think that would be about half. You can see a fairly broad. It's a little bit too broad for what we want, but TikTok does a really good job of narrowing down for us. So I could really just say, hey, maybe I don't want anyone under 17 just because, different advertising laws, and also they might not have as much disposable income. Down here, I could say we want people with high spending power, so it's a lot easier for them to make the purchase. We could choose household income as well, which is really interesting how TikTok is able to estimate that. We have the audiences. Then we can look at interest and behaviors. I'm not going to add any of that, but if you wanted to say, hey, maybe they're interested in golf interests, sure, we could add that. It just kind of gives TikTok a little bit of a head start into what the ad should really be targeting. But like I said, they optimize it very well on their own. So this says we have a very narrow audience right now because we put that in there. If I wanted to, let's say, get rid of that, we have a much broader audience. And I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna add the golf interest necessarily. Then we have the budget optimization. So we can optimize our budget at the ad group level right here, or at the campaign level, or at the ad level. So right here, budget and schedule, let's just say daily, you wanna have some amount so you want to have enough that you're getting actual real data from this, but you don't want to spend too much that you lose all your money early on and you end up like not being able to continue your business for long enough. Like the whole point here is to learn. So spend a small amount, whatever you're able to do. Maybe it's $20 a day, maybe it's $100 a day, maybe it's $5 a day. I don't know. Whatever your financial situation is, figure out what the best is for you. But keep in mind, spending more now doesn't necessarily mean more sales. Don't get too excited. This is really meant for learning. In the beginning, the first couple of days, we want to find out which ads perform the best. Once we find out which ones perform the best, then we can amplify those and put a lot more money behind them. And that's where you really start to scale and get a lot of your sales. So don't blow all your money too soon and end up like having the most expensive experiment ever that then you learn, but you don't have any money to run the ads then. So for this one, I'm going to say $50 because I want to get some real information from this. And like I said, we're actually getting a nice price match on that as well. So TikTok's going to do the dollar for dollar when we do $100, like I said. And so I'm going to, actually, I'll say $100. I want to match that. So I'm going to say $100. It's definitely higher than I think you should do. But I'm just going to do it so you guys can get some data in this video and kind of see what I'm actually talking about by the end of the video. We can schedule that. We can choose the optimization goal, like I said, conversions, maximum delivery, or cost cap. So you can see the details right here. Maximum delivery is going to spend your budget fully and get the maximum possible results, getting the most conversions. Or cost cap is going to optimize based on like the cheapest ads available. So it really keeps your average cost per result lower, at or lower than your bid. So if you know like eventually what your profit margins will be or what you really want them to be, and you say, hey, I don't want to lose money on a product, but I'm going to say maximum delivery for now because I don't know, just for the point of this video, that's exactly what I think makes the most sense. Now I'm going to go next. It looks like there was a little error here. Okay, I forgot to enter the optimization event. Super important. We want to optimize for when people actually complete the payment. This is when somebody goes and purchases the product. We want to make sure that we're doing that. Now, alternatively, you could say when they add to the cart or something else, but realistically, we care about purchases, and that's what I'm going to add in there. So now we can say next. We shouldn't have any more errors, I think. So the next thing we want to do is start on our ad. I'm going to name the ad right here. I have a file I'm going to upload, but I'm going to talk about how to make TikTok ads in just a second, the different ways to either hire people to make them or to make them yourself. So we're just going to call this golfmat-UGC1, some user-generated content. You can turn on Spark ads or not. I'm going to keep this off. We can also set a custom identity. So we can select a profile photo and a screen name. So I'm going to say Perfect Swing Golf Mat, say create. And then the ad format, we're going to keep it as a single video. On the right side, you can see a preview right there. So Perfect Golf Swing Mat, that's what it shows up as. Looks good. Now we can click on upload. I'm going to drag a file over here. Just a little TikTok ad that I made a little earlier. A pretty basic one. This one I didn't really spend a lot of effort on because this is just a demonstration for this video. And that's going to upload. I'll click on upload on the bottom. It might take a minute to upload, but while it's doing that, we can continue on. One thing you want to note is that when you're editing videos, you can actually go to CapCut, a really easy way, really easy tool that is free. It's made by ByteDance, so the same company that makes TikTok. So it integrates really well with TikTok and everything works well. So now we can enter the text down here under the ad. Make sure this is a call to action. So I might say something like, achieve a better swing than 99% of other golfers. with one simple drill, something like that. I don't know, something pretty basic, but it's a call to action and also a promise as well. So you can customize the call to action if you want it dynamic or not. You can edit that. Dynamic's just going to automatically show different call to action text to maximize performance. I usually leave it on dynamic. That's fine by me. We can set up the destination. This is going to be a URL. So you want to copy the link to your product page here. So I'm going to copy my product page. I'm going to paste that in the URL box. Then we can check the box to agree. And then down here, make sure you see website events, and it should say TikTok Pixel for Shopify. Make sure that's there. We don't need app or offline events. That doesn't really matter here. And then we'll just wait a second for the ad to finish uploading. All right, so now it's finished uploading. I can go down and click on submit. It's going to ask if I definitely want to submit. I'm going to say yes. And now it's going to ask me to set up a payment method to actually pay for this ad. So it's going to take a second. I'm going to add my credit card information right here. To verify, it says right there, will be charged $10. It'll be refunded in 1 to 15 days, so don't worry about that. But that's just verifying that our credit card is legitimate before they start running these ads. And then we're good to go with that ad. We can click on back to campaigns. And here we can see we have 3 tabs across the top. Right now it says not delivering. That's because it does take a little bit to review this. So it might take a couple hours until this actually starts running. But if you just close out of this, it'll automatically start running unless there is an error. But you can see, like I said, we have 3 tabs across the top. One is going to be ads. So you can turn this on or off if you want to have the individual ad running or not running, as you can see right here. We could also go to the ad group and turn the ad group on and off, or the campaign on and off. So if you have multiple campaigns and you don't want to send budget to one of them, you can just turn off that entire campaign. Or of course you can turn off individual ads and turn on individual ads really quite easily. Now, if you want to make more ads, so like I said, I recommend making multiple ads in the beginning. You can just click on create and go through that same process again. Really quite simple the second time around. All right, so talking about the marketing, it's been a couple of days and the product actually did arrive. So from that aspect, I really wanted to kind of get a better idea of the quality of the product so I could figure out how to market this. In addition, having the product in my hands also really helps me to capture my own content, to kind of try some different things and see what actually works. But there's 2 different main routes of marketing this. One is going to be the paid route. The other one's going to be organic. And there's some kind of in-between stuff that we're going to talk about as well. Starting off with the paid side, of course, we can talk about TikTok ads. That's going to be a huge part of marketing this. And I'm going to talk about how to actually make the ad. But when you're making the ad, you could either film it yourself or you could hire other people to make it for you, which in many situations is going to be not only easier, it's going to save you a lot of time, but also you're not going to have to get any equipment for this. You don't have to worry about figuring out how to do this. You're hiring a professional to do this for you. So when you make an ad on TikTok, one of the really popular ways people do it now is by hiring user-generated content, UGC. There's a lot of platforms out there where you can find people that you can hire, and they'll send you usually 3 to 5 copies of a video that you can use to run as an ad. And when you get this, sure, like what a lot of people like to do is actually run it organically first. They post it on their TikTok, see which of the 5 really did the best, or maybe which 3 of the 5 do the best, and then they'll go and amplify those on TikTok. The problem with UGC content from those platforms is that typically that ends up being quite expensive. When you're getting started out, if you don't have a lot of funding, there are alternatives that could save you a lot of money. But if you have the funding and you're willing to do that, that could be, it's a tried and true method that many people do use. But the second alternative is to have somebody else make the content that doesn't cost a lot of money, meaning they're not already on a UGC platform looking for money. That's not their only job. So where might you find someone like this? Well, a really good example would be a smaller creator. And I think smaller creators are going to be a really powerful aspect of your marketing, not only from this side, but also something else to talk about in a minute. But from this aspect, you can reach out to smaller creators and see if you can pay them typically a lower fee to make a video for you. So if they're already getting, a couple thousand views on TikTok and they're able to, like, maybe they're not making a lot of money, maybe it's a side hustle, or maybe they're just really trying to leave their job and go full time and they're willing to do smaller jobs like that for some money, that could be a great way to get some UGC content that is not on the platform. So the way to do that would be really just to be going on TikTok, searching for keywords related to your product and finding smaller creators that are still getting some views, or even if they're not getting views, creators that you think just really have the quality that you're looking for in your ads. And then of course, the third option is to just make the ads yourself. Now, I have a full video on how to make TikTok ads. I really covered most of it in this video, but if you ever want any more details, I'll link that below as well. But in essence, when you're making an ad for a product like this, for example, you would really want to start off with a really strong hook. Your first sentence has to be really captivating, and you can really decide ahead of time what feel you want for your ad. And what I recommend doing is looking at other successful ads on TikTok. I showed you that platform earlier where you can review different ads for different products. And what I would generally recommend doing is just kind of looking at which ads did the best, which ones are similar-ish products to what you're doing. They don't have to be like related to golf in this example, but anything that would be like for self-improvement, maybe fitness, different things like that. And you can look at how they structured the ad and then kind of make an analog for your ad. So that's one way to kind of figure out what your script might be. A second way would maybe be to figure out what the general feel is going to be. Is it going to be a funny ad? Is it going to be a serious ad? You want this to be something that captures people's attention and is also very shareable, which is why the first sentence, like I said, is going to be so critical. You want to essentially explain in the first sentence. Don't hold a lot back. You want to make sure the first sentence just blows them away and breaks common knowledge, or otherwise just gets them to stop scrolling to wonder a little bit more about this product. Generally, you want to tell a story in the first sentence, just like one quick sentence that grabs their attention. Then the second 2 to 4 sentences, once you have somebody's attention, they're still like, they'll wait another couple seconds and try to get more information. So you only have maybe 2 or 3 more sentences that you can then basically tell that story more and really resonate with them, talk about the pain points and kind of build a connection with the viewer. And then the final sentence toward the end of your minute, one thing that many people actually do forget to do is a call to action. So you want to make sure that you're not just saying like, oh, this is a good product, you should buy it. People are going to scroll right away. They don't want an ad like they used to see on cable television years ago. They want something that feels like organic content that resonates with them, is either funny and they're going to share it with their friends, or is just something that like, yes, they realize that's the same problem they have and your product is going to fix it. And then at the end, like I said, you have to remember to say, like, you need your call to action to get people to go and click and actually purchase your product. So making your own ad, again, is going to take a lot of time. If you're going to do that route, don't just make one ad and put a lot of money behind it. More money will not make your ad better. Generally, what I would recommend doing is make maybe like 10 to 12 ads. If you are trying to really save money and go that route, you can make 10 to 12 different ads, go for completely different scripts, try different methods, film with your phone, film with, if you have a professional camera, use that. Just try different things and then publish them all as organic content on your TikTok account. And then look at those 12, see which ones got the most. If they're all getting 180 views and maybe 2 or 3 of them are able to get a couple thousand views within, say, a week, maybe 2 weeks, then you can be pretty sure that those 3 did something right. At the very least, they have higher retention. They're getting people to watch it a little bit longer, which is a good sign. That means that you can then use those and iterate on them. So you want to make subtle little changes in them and just keep doing that until you find videos that perform better and better. Now, you can also, of course, like once you find ones that start to work better, you want to then run them as ads to see how well they actually convert to purchasing customers in the end. So that's kind of the spectrum of how you can set up your paid ads. I'm going to film one of my own for this product right here, but that's really what you want to focus on when you're making your ads. This is going to be the bread and butter of a successful dropshipping store, is having a really good ad. And the key there, of course, is making a lot of ads and iterating like one specific thing on each version of the ad and A/B testing everything and seeing what is optimizing it and what is holding it back until you eventually have an absolute profit machine that is so good at converting customers. So that was a lot to talk about right there. Again, it's going to be a really wide spectrum of action here, depending on what your budget is, what your capabilities are, if you're comfortable on camera, if you are somebody who's filmed things in the past or not. All of that's going to really play a big factor into choosing what your route is for getting the ads made. But no matter what, iterating and taking a scientific approach to this is going to be absolutely essential. Now, talking about the other aspect of this, again, this is still within the, I would categorize this as paid marketing, although it doesn't have to be entirely paid. It's like pseudo-organic in a way. And this goes back to that small creator thing I was talking about. One of the biggest ways to get your product out there is to literally get it in the hands of people who are influencers, people who already have audiences or at least know how to make content, and they're putting it out there for free on their own platforms. That way, you're not paying to amplify this. You are either just giving them the product and they're going to make a video for free because they're getting a product that's interesting and it'll make good content, or maybe you're paying them a small fee, especially smaller creators. That could be a really great way to do that. When you're just getting started out with a smaller product like this, as somebody who works as a creator every day, what I would highly recommend doing is reaching out to as many creators as you can until you're getting maybe a dozen or 24 that are willing to make content for free in exchange for the product. And something like this could be really cool because like golf is such a natural niche that a lot of people already watch a lot of content in. And so something like this could be either a review. Some people could just review it and just mention your brand, and that might drive customers over to you. Or it could be something that people are maybe going to talk about, like how to fix your swing, and they just use this as a tool. And don't feel limited to TikTok in this aspect. In fact, I would actually recommend, if you can get people to make videos about this on YouTube for long form videos, they're far more likely to convert better because they have retention for a longer period of time. So if somebody's going to make a video about the top 5 golf training aids, and yours is one of them, and that video gets 100,000 views, that could drive a pretty substantial amount of sales. Now, moving on to the next category of organic marketing. This is going to be, for one, it's going to be some of what I said before about getting your own content put out there, but that's generally not what I would recommend doing most of the time. I think organic marketing is really best done by recapturing people who already purchased from you or encouraging word of mouth. So whenever you're shipping a product like this, especially when you're using Zendrop, like I showed you earlier, I think it's incredibly powerful to have a little slip in there that says like, hey, thanks for ordering, like refer a friend and you both get $5 or something like that. Somehow encourage word of mouth so that people are showing other people this. And obviously, if your brand is in any way associated with this, if it's shown on the packaging, if you have a card kicking around, if you are able to get your brand on the actual product by working with manufacturers, those are ways that you can obviously encourage word of mouth and get a lot more organic marketing associated. And then the other way to do organic marketing is kind of a remarketing strategy that we really like to do, which is going to be email marketing. Now, email marketing by default, there is some email communication between you and the end purchaser with Shopify by default. Like when you just set it up, they're going to get shipping notifications and things like that. But we really like using Omnisend with Shopify to retarget people a lot more, because if somebody purchased one thing from you, they're very likely to purchase other products as well. So say they like this product and you come out with another training aid for golf in the future, it would be very easy to retarget that same audience, and it's in their inbox. It's free to send the email to them. So you're probably going to get quite a few purchases from that. So let's talk about how to set up Omnisend with Shopify. All right, so if I just go back to Shopify, first of all, we have some analytics there from the first sale. We have one sale that was my sample. We'll talk about analytics in a second, but if we go down to apps down there and we type in Omnisend, we can click on this one right here. In addition, we'll have a link down below, an affiliate link. If you want to go through that link, that can help, again, support the channel. But I'm going to go right here. We'll click on the account. I'm going to say this one right here. I'm going to install Omnisend, and Omnisend is one that we have used a ton in the past, both with Shopify as well as other platforms out there like WooCommerce. It's just super powerful, and they just have so much automation that makes it incredibly easy. Like I used to use, way back in the day, I used a lot of MailChimp for a lot of different websites, and while I like MailChimp and it is powerful, Omnisend is just on a completely different level with ease of use and automation. So I'm going to click on install, and now I'm just going to give them some basic information, name, first name, last name, password, and set up this account. All right, and now it's going to ask for our brand assets, our logo. So I don't believe we actually have a logo at the moment. I didn't set one up when I made the store. Just a quick little aside here, if you ever want to make assets like this, if you want to make logos and graphics, a really great free tool I recommend is Canva, canva.com, and that'll take you to a really nice editor that allows you to make all types of different things. I'm going to sign in on a different tab right here. So on the Canva dashboard, if you just type in, for example, if we want to make a logo, you could type in logo, and there's going to be a ton of templates for logos. Or what you could do is you can actually type in something even more specific. So you could say maybe like golf logo, and they're going to have a ton. Look at these. These are all logos that you can get started with that are related to golf specifically. And so maybe like this one right here would be pretty great. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to customize this template, and you can kind of build your logo super duper easily. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time going through the ins and outs of using Canva. There are other videos. We actually have a video on our channel as well, specifically showing you how to use Canva. But for the most part, it tends to be fairly similar to other softwares I've used, maybe like PowerPoint or Microsoft Word, for example. Click and drag things around. I think it's pretty user-friendly. A lot of stuff's on the left side. You can find tons of elements. You can customize anything on here, change the colors, like every single color on this, for example. And so I'm going to just kind of optimize this logo, and then we're going to add it in. We're going to go to share on the top right. We'll download it, and I'm going to add it to Omnisend. All right, so I'm going to select the file. We can upload from the computer, browse my files, and then I can click on select. Now it looks a little weird right there, but you can see on the right side how the emails would actually show up. Perfect Swing Golf Trainers, that looks pretty professional in my opinion. I really like that. We can choose the accent colors. And again, from here, this is where it's really useful to know the HTML code of that. So if we just go back to Canva right here, if I click on any asset, any image there, click on the color, you can actually copy this right here. So we're going to copy the same color from our logo. So we have that on the email. We can choose our font. I think that'll looks good. And we're going to save the brand assets. I think that looks really good. Okay, now we have 4 things right here that they recommend doing. This is a pop-up. I'm going to X out of this just because I'm going to show you all of these anyway. And if you're watching this video in the future and maybe this pop-up doesn't exist anymore, I don't want to mislead anybody or get anyone lost. So I'm going to close out of this just so we can kind of walk through everything together. So from the dashboard, there are 4 main things right here, as well as across the top, you'll see automation. We're going to set up some automations for recovering abandoned carts. We can also manage our audience. We can have welcome forms. So if we go to forms, for example, this would be a good way for people to sign up. So on our email, if you go to our website, sorry, not our email, and scroll down to the bottom. So if we go down to subscribe to our emails, we can actually direct this to Omnisend. So that's building the email newsletter that we can then automate everything pretty easily. So I'm not going to add a form on here. We don't need to. We have a website that does all of that for us. Audience, this is where you can see everybody, all the contacts that you have. So if anybody requests to be removed, if they're unable to unsubscribe and they contact you, you can go here and remove them manually. Similarly, if anyone wants to be added, you can add them manually as well. Now, automation is really what I recommend doing the most of with Omnisend. That is by far the most powerful in my opinion. So this, I'm just going to click preview and start workflows. Select the discount for the 3rd email. So this right here is turn on abandoned cart and check out workflows. This is like already pre-made. We don't have to do much at all. 3rd email, I'm going to say 10% sounds fine. We can continue setup. So we can choose if we only want to use email or SMS plus email. I'm only going to use email for now, but Omnisend is also able to use SMS if you ever wanted to do that. And I can just say start workflows. And now I can say show my workflows. And we have abandoned cart and abandoned checkout. So if anybody adds anything to their cart and they don't actually make the purchase for whatever reason, maybe somebody came to the door, whatever, and they just end up not making the purchase, they will then get an email that reminds them a little bit later, just a gentle nudge that, hey, they have something in the cart and they can go and purchase that. And if they don't do anything, there's an automation. It waits a little bit of time, says it again. And then on the 3rd email, it gives them a discount to kind of encourage the purchase a little bit more. So I'm going to click on the abandoned cart one just to kind of see this a little bit more. And it takes us into this little dot matrix you can see right here. This is going to be the layout of our workflow. So you can see the customers enter the workflow when they add an item to the cart and the triggers. So, okay, if it wasn't updated, so after 1 hour, if they have not made the purchase, then that is an abandoned cart. So they get an email here that says, hey, your items are selling out fast. You might want to make your purchase. And you can customize this as well. You could send a test email and really check this out more. Then they wait another 11 hours and you can customize this. Hey, maybe we want to wait another 13 hours or maybe like 17 hours. So it's like basically the next day, and we can update that. And you can also say only on certain days of the week your cart misses you. That's something we've all seen. That's a very common thing. And then another 12 hours. And then, hey, one last attempt here, 10% off to try to get that sale going. Now, if you want, you can move this sooner and just totally get rid of the middle one and say, hey, if they don't respond to the first one, just give them 10% off in the next one just to kind of get that sale going. I'm going to say update, and we can publish the changes. So that's what I wanted to do with Omnisend. Of course, there is a lot more. You can create other workflows. If you just click create workflow, there are welcome emails. Maybe you have like a 7-day, 7 golf tip program or something where like every day they get an email and it's going to give them like another video lesson on some other part of their swing and whatever. Like maybe you're just encouraging them to buy more products, but you're also providing them value. So you could have a setup like that, like a welcome email when they first sign up for your email newsletter or just your email list in general. And then every day, it's like wait 24 hours, send another one. You could do that. That works. You could also ask for product reviews. You could send order confirmations. You could do when things are back in stock. So if anybody's trying to order something and it's maybe not out, maybe it's out of stock. That could be something you have there. And of course, like order follow-ups, stuff like that. Tons and tons of automations. I recommend browsing through these, figure out which one makes the most sense for you. And of course, there are OmniSend. Let's see, we get some free emails in the beginning, like 500 free emails. It's really nice that it gets you started like that. And if you look at their plans, once you really start getting things going, $16 per month, I think it's worth it if you really start to get things going and you get a lot of customers if you have multiple products, that is, because then you can just do those upsells. And $16 is generally cheaper than what you would spend on ads to get that many customers that you could get on retargeting here. So that's OmniSend. I really like using that. But going back to our store, so really the last thing I need to talk about is just going to be my experience with this product in particular. So Zendrop, like I said, you can order directly from, you can get AliExpress through Zendrop. It does take a little longer and kind of defeats the purpose of Zendrop in many ways, in my opinion. I like using the ones that are fulfilled by Zendrop, but even then it's worth buying them. So I'm in Philadelphia. This shipped from New Jersey. It shipped about 3 days after I ordered. So there was a little bit of a delay there. And then it took about a week for this to arrive, which I was kind of surprised by that timing. So it's worth ordering the product before you go all in on promoting, like running ads behind it, because if people end up canceling orders because it takes too long, like that's money that you could lose. So I highly recommend ordering samples first just to see what your experience is. And maybe this product just was out of stock when I ordered it. Maybe that's an anomaly, or maybe they have other products that are similar to this one on Zendrop that I could sell that would be a lot faster to ship, right? So this was shipped with USPS. That's how long it took. I have all the information on that. So overall, I don't think it was too long where people would be canceling orders a lot, but I would like to see the shipping just a little bit faster. I do really like that it came in a very small packaging, so it definitely saves some money on shipping. It feels like there's no way this could get damaged. It's just like a little mat. So that checked off one of the boxes: shipping, ease of shipping, and lack of damage. So there's very little that I think could go wrong that would cause returns. It also comes with some nice little bonuses. You get these little like foam golf balls, so people could use these maybe in a garage without like destroying their windows and doors. And you have these little pegs. Again, not a whole lot that could go wrong with these. The pegs to just kind of drive into the corner of the mat to hold it down when you're swinging. And a really nice little add-on as well is a little carabiner, so you can clip this maybe to your golf bag, or you could hang it up somewhere in your garage or something like that. So overall, I think this product, I am very impressed with it. I think it's going to be something that will sell very well on like just drop shipping on this site if the ad is made correctly. I don't recommend copying this because like a lot of people are going to watch this video, and I'm sure a lot of them are going to copy this product. So find other products that are similar to this one. But I am very excited to see your products out there. Definitely leave a comment with what your product is going to be in the description below, or any questions you have about dropshipping in general. But that's a quick crash course on how to set up dropshipping in, I guess it was probably more than 30 minutes. It was probably more like, I don't know, maybe there's even an hour. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm Mike O'Brien from Santrel Media, and I'll see you in the next video.